Congratulations, Kunyu. Now, please remember that the main goal of the IYSF is to make Yogasana an Olympic sport. And the only way for yoga sports to get worldwide recognition is to develop yoga sports discipline under IYSF as a world governing body and unifying all national federations and their competitions. Also, remember, as it is important to point out, as this is an international competition, that an athlete who is national of 2 or more countries, someone who has multiple nationalities, can represent only one of those countries at the present competition. However, afterwards, they cannot represent another country of which they are nationals at any IYSF competition until 2 years have passed. In case you have recently joined us, welcome. This is the 16th World Championship of Yogasana Sports 2025. The athletes you're watching perform have been qualified by IYSF National and Continental Championships. As you know, as we mentioned in the beginning, there is a time judge responsible for measuring the length of time that each posture is held in stillness. As soon as the 3 minutes in which the routine can be executed expire and time is called by the timekeeper, then the time judge stops the time watch. Each posture will receive deductions if they are held in stillness for less than 4.99 seconds. We're ready to display Kunyu's scores. Very well, congratulations, Kunyu. Moving on to our next competitor, representing the United States, Kendall Heist. Begin, please. Congratulations, Kendo! Again, please remember each posture will receive deductions if they're not held in stillness for less than 4.99 seconds. If a posture is held in stillness for 2.99 seconds or less, then the posture receives 0 points. Stillness is achieved when the minimum expression of the posture is reached and the posture is held without fidgeting, audible breath, or holding the breath in perfect control for at least 3 seconds. Now, the slight natural and controlled movements produced by balancing limbs in contact with the floor required to maintain balance that do not affect the rest of the body is still accepted as stillness. We're ready to display Kendall's scores. There we go. Very consistent. Moving on to our next competitor. Representing the United States, Marcia Hattrick. Begin, please. Congratulations, Marsha. So, wait, I'm coming. So tell us, once you decide to participate in a yoga competition, how long does it take for you to prepare, to train for that?
Your life. Quite a while. Yeah, hours a day, months and years, really.
And do you get the feeling that it's all worth it?
Absolutely, yes.
Where do you find that feeling? Like, what does it give you to be here?
Just joy and happiness. Just this like expansiveness and beauty, you know, just seeing everybody, their bodies move and how strong and capable.
Okay, so now we're ready to display the scores, which are already there. And just a quick reminder for anyone present at the Lim Kok Weng University. If you're consuming food or beverages, please be mindful of your trash. There are trash cans on the back. Don't leave them on the floor. Thank you. Moving on to our next competitor, representing the United States, Tara Johnson. Begin, please.
Saw your reflection, the embers. They drew out a map and they showed you direction. Your sender is far in the east, where your heart is at peace when you enter. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder. It's just a reminder, find your center. Well, help me recall that first morning, sunlight at dawn, and cracks on the floor, well, it served as a warning. Everything's changing, I'll rearrange it. So familiar, so amazing. Hopped in the car, drove to the mountains, cows in the street, prayer beat you accountant. There was the river, eternal giver, flowing forever. Remember, find your center. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder. My love is just a reminder, find your center. My love is just a reminder.
Thank you very much, Tara. Congratulations. Now, as mentioned before, The judges panel is chaired by a head judge. The head judge must review all the judges' scores and may question a judge as to whether the correct rule was applied for any score. The head judge can make any judge change the score if the rules have not been correctly applied. The only time the posture judges make time deductions is if the 3 minutes run out of the athlete reached after the athlete reached the minimum expression of the last posture of the routine, or if the exiting from the last posture as the time expires. Time will be called if this happens. T for this is -1 made by all the judges to the final posture. If time expires, still the competitor must finish the routine and further deductions can be made if more errors occur. If time is called prior to the completion of the posture, of the last posture, then this posture will be scored as a 0. Considering the rules for fair play requirements, it is also important to point out that IYSF National Federation leads, judges and coaches can have their own training, seminars and workshops sold under their own brands and names, but none of these can be official sponsors of any IYSF National Federations and or competitions, and none can be promoted by international and continental federations through gifts to athletes, distribution of flyers, branded clothes, and verbal mentioning of the competition in social media. And this, of course, is to avoid conflict of interest. Again, there is a separation between judges and coaches to avoid any conflict of interest. Judges are not allowed to coach and teach workshops prior to the competition, with the exception of warm-up classes. Please keep in mind that all national, international, continental, and world yoga sport competitions are organized by IYSF national federations or appointed IYSF continental councils according to IYSF statutes, and must be registered on the IYSF calendar. Only competitions registered in this manner can be considered IYSF events. Classically, in sport, all competitions are divided into several levels. IYSF has 2-level competition criteria. National competitions, and these are to qualify athletes for continental cups and world cups, or continental cups that can act as a substitute in case the country doesn't have a national federation. International competitions, which also include different disciplines of yoga sport competitions, team performances. Athletes can participate in international competitions regardless of the result of national championships and are delegated in accordance to each national federation. Just in case, we should mention that there is a tiebreaker protocol to be observed at all IYSF sanctioned competitions. In the case that an athlete of 2 athletes having exactly the same number of points, then the winner will be determined by the athlete with the higher percentage of execution, which is the ratio between the highest amount of points that the athlete could have achieved in the routine against the points that the athlete actually achieved, regardless of the difficult rating of the postures. Now, if the execution percentages are still a tie, then the following tiebreaker is decided by the athlete who has the best timing of the routine, meaning whomever is closest to the 3 minutes. If an athlete fails or falls or fails to complete a posture after the setup of the posture has been achieved, then the athlete can reattempt the posture one more time. This situation is considered a second chance and will be scored out of 5 points. For instance, some errors leading to the second chance are a limb or foot coming out prematurely of a tucked position, a premature and complete loss of a grip, any part of the body touching the floor prematurely when it's not a feature of the posture, touching the floor in an uncontrolled manner, making a loud noise with the floor at any part of the posture, entering at the posture, then losing balance and going back to start before completion, even if no part of the body touches the floor during miscontrol, and retouching the floor after the setup of the posture has been achieved. For example, making a step on a handstand, lifting a foot or a hand, and retouching the floor at the peacock, etc. If an athlete intends to perform a posture that is not listed in the posture guidelines, then the athlete must in characteristics and group. If the posture is not submitted as described and the athlete chooses to perform the posture, then it will be scored again as a 0. Again, the only time when posture judges make time deductions is if the 3 minutes run out after the athlete has reached the minimum expression of the last posture of the routine, or if they are exiting from the last posture as the time expires. If this happens, time will be called, and the penalty is -1 point, made by all the judges to the final posture. Now, if time expires, still the competitor must finish the posture and the routine, and further deductions can be made if more errors occur. If time is called prior to the completion of the posture, then the posture will be scored as a 0. As you can see, we're getting the stage fixed, which means we're gonna have a 5-minute break. Thank you. All right, we're ready to resume the competition. In case you have recently joined us on our live broadcast at the IYSF YouTube channel, welcome. We're currently attending the 16th World Championship of Yogasana Sports 2025. The athletes you're watching perform have been qualified by only IYSF National and Continental Championships. And I think we need to display Tara Johnson's scores. There it is. Indeed, second posture was the handstand, the lotus handstand. Since we had 2 steps of the hands happening, it was double second chance, so that's why the posture was scored with a 0. Moving on to our next competitor, representing the United States, Jasmine Pinson. Begin, please. Congratulations, Jasmine! Hey! So, tell us, what does it mean to you to be able to be here on stage today?
Well, it means a lot. It means Can I hold it? Or? I feel really God's love, the love from my family who's here, and my team with Kim Tang Yoga, my yoga community, just the world, and feel a connection with, you know, with this community. It's really beautiful, and it feels just amazing.
Thank you. It was a beautiful, beautiful performance. Congratulations. And we're ready to display Jasmine's scores. There it is. Congratulations. Moving on to our next competitor, representing the United States, Jordan Lydia Verla. Begin, please. Thank you, Jordan. Congratulations. So, tell us, when we see you on stage, we feel a sense of ease and natural movement. Has it always been like that? Have you always felt, oh, this is easy for me, or was there like a discovery of, oh, finally I realized that my body is capable of doing more than what I probably expected?
I've been competing for 13 years, and I had scoliosis in my spine, and my very first posture on stage for advanced posture was pregnancy pose. I was told I moved like a robot in the early days. So I think if you want something bad enough, you just keep going, no matter what. And that wasn't my song, so it was a nice little unexpected surprise. So hopefully that ease carried through. But a good yogi does not get tense, they get ready. So.
I agree. I would have known if you had mentioned it that it wasn't your song. So you did absolutely great. Congratulations. Thank you. So we're ready to display Jordan's scores. There we go. Very, very consistent performance, of course. Let's move on to our next competitor, representing Argentina, Pauli Valerio. Begin, please.
Underneath the golden sky, fighting for a lifetime, but all my feet are slipping now, and I feel so tired. I thought that I would have the strength, but I'm so out of my element, so frozen in the moment with flowers all around. Let go, come and claim me as your own. From now on, I depend on you alone. Unlimited, original, sweet, subtle, deepest of the deep, seen by the sages. Oh, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sit on the lotus of my heart. Unlimited, original, sweet, subtle, deepest of the deep, seen by the sages. Oh, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sit on the lotus of my heart. Unlimited, original. Oh, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sit on the lotus of my heart. Let go, come and claim me as your own. From now on, I depend on you alone. Let go, hold the flower in the air. Let go. This is my prayer.
Time. Congratulations, Pauli. All right. So, how does it feel to be? You're the only representative of Argentina on this international competition in Malaysia. we all know what's going on in Argentina, so how do you feel about being here and being able to represent your country?
It's an honor to be representing my country and the Argentinian team.
So, and breathe, I can see you be like vibrating so hard. How do you feel now? What was your experience on stage?
I feel happy because what I most like to do is yoga. So this is a pleasure, totally a pleasure.
You did great. Congratulations. Thank you. So we're ready to display Pauli's scores. Very well. All right. Let's move on to our next competitor. Representing Australia, Lucy Musa. Begin, please. Congratulations, Lucy. Thank you very much. Now, in case you have recently joined our live broadcast at the IYSF YouTube channel, You have no idea what you've been missing out. But welcome. We're currently attending the 16th World Championship of Yogasana Sports 2025. The athletes you're watching perform have been qualified by only IYSF national and continental championships. We're ready to display Lucy's scores. There we go. Congratulations, Lucy. Moving on to our next competitor, representing Canada, Nirvani Umadat. Begin, please. Congratulations, Nirvani. Thank you very much. Now, you might be wondering, how have the athletes assembled their routines? First of all, it's important to point out that proper coaching is of most importance in this subject. Each athlete must complete 6 optional postures within 3 minutes. The athlete must choose one posture of each of the 6 compulsory groups: back bends, forward bendings, forward compressions, tractions, twists, lifts, and inversions. Now, athletes can accommodate the postures in whichever order they decide, but there is a 3-point deduction from the overall score for each compulsory group missing from the routine. We're ready to display Nirvani's scores. Very well. Let's move on to our next competitor. Representing Chile, Camila Valdez. Begin, please. Congratulations, Camila! So, you're also the only representative of Chile on this competition. How does it feel to be on the other side of the world from where you're from?
Puedo hablar en español, ¿verdad?
Okay, you can speak in Spanish and I'll translate.
Sí, prefiero. Bueno, quiero agradecer todo.
She wants to thank all.
Todo lo que me hizo estar aquí y, bueno, y recibir esta hermosa energía y poder compartirla.
To receive this beautiful energy and being able to share it with everyone.
Y mucho amor al mundo y ya.
And
Se pueda expandir, ya poder llegar a más seres humanos y poder contribuir así hacia la humanidad.
being able to contribute to humanity through yoga. So thank you so very much. Congratulations. We're ready to display Camila's scores. Look at that, very solid. Yes. Let's move on to our next competitor. Representing Czech Republic, Indrisa Termachova. Begin, please.
Searching for a trail to follow again. Take me back to the night we met. And then I can't tell myself what the hell I'm supposed to do. And then I tell myself not to ride along with you. I hate all and then most of you, some and now none of you. Take me back to the night we met. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, haunted by the ghost of you. Oh, take me back to the night we met. When the night was full of terror, and your eyes were filled with tears. When you had not touched me yet. Oh, take me back to the night we
Congratulations, Indrisa! Hey! So, come. We've seen very deep postures in your routine. For instance, the bow-legged peacock, the four-wheel. How do you train for those postures that are so deep in a safe, healthy manner? Not to break, to bend, not to break.
Yes, I actually was always quite flexible in my spine, but like after my kids, I have 2 kids, so after the second kid, I really have to start to train properly using the muscles, so I gain more strength, or I was focusing on this to be safe in the back bends. And it's very important to concentrate, for me, to concentrate on the middle part of my body, on the pelvis, and yeah, then you can go safe.
Well, you did wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're ready to display Indrisa's scores. Oh, now, yes, we had a little mistake on that last posture. It is, yes, a 9. Let's move on to our next competitor. Representing Czech Republic, Susana Traalikova. Begin, please.
Ach Bože, podej mi ještě ten kalich. To víno, co s nocí se měnívá na líh. Snad nad ránem na dně se dočtu, že v kastlíku andělskou počtu mám. A že hoře se skutálí do jedné slzy. Ta slza se vsákne a pak ji to mrzí, že po prvním slunci se nadechnem a kometa zamíří nad Betlém. Zatím počítám nebe, světla kam nedostanu, miluju tebe a pak usnu a vstanu a tak Tak podej mi ještě ten kalich, to víno, co s nocí se měnívá na líh. Snad na dně se perlama zaleskne, pak vyměním veselé zateskné písně. A že hoře se skutálí do jedné básně. Ta báseň se vsákne a na zemi zasněží, že po prvním slunci a první tmou ta kometa zamíří nad Letnou. Zatím počítám nebe, pusy, co nedostanu, miluju tebe a pak usnu a vstanu a tak Tak podej mi ještě ten kalich.
Congratulations, Susana. Thank you so very much. Again, during the routine, each characteristic of balance, flexibility, and strength is to be demonstrated twice. For each repetition missing, a 1-point deduction of the overall score will be given. For example, if no strength is demonstrated within any of the postures of the routine, then 2-point deduction will be given. And this is valid for all divisions of the IYSF championships. Now the posture guidelines indicates possible extra skill or less skill for a given posture. These are aspects or elements of a posture that demonstrate either greater or lesser proficiency in the posture. Extra and less skills do not change the characteristic of the posture and may carry rewards or penalties of 0.5 up to 2 points. Now we're ready to review Susana's scores. There it is. Moving on to our next competitor, Representing Denmark, Signe Ree Hansen. Begin, please.
We've waited for this day. We shed some tears of love now, like a desert in the rain. When sun of the dead are waking up, yeah. There's nobody like my moon. There's no place like my home since I was born. When I was young, the flavor is so strong. I've missed it so long now.
Congratulations, Signe! Hey, wait, I'm coming. So, tell us about your preparation for competitions. How do you train? How do you prepare for competition?
I do a lot of different training. I do a lot of lifting, heavy lifting. I do a lot of Bikram yoga. And I try to have fun with other types of movement. I do Thai boxing, for example. So a lot of different things, mostly Bikram yoga.
Yes, you have a very strong body, a very muscular body. So how do you manage not to lose your flexibility when you train so much the strength?
I spend a lot of time in the hot room. Yeah, I would say so.
Well, thank you so very much. Wonderful performance. And we're ready to display Signe's scores. There we go. Indeed, very strong performance. Moving on to our next competitor. Representing France, Alexandra Vinner Bakis. Begin, please.
Grace. Take me to that higher place. Shine a light into this space. So that I can see your face. I pray for grace. May we open up these gates. Grace. Take me to that higher place. Take me to that higher place. Grace. Shine a light into this place. Grace.
Congratulations, Alexandra! So, in case you have recently joined our live broadcast at the IYSF YouTube channel, welcome. We're currently attending the 16th World Championship of Yogasana Sports 2025, and we have very few competitors left for today, so don't miss out. The athletes you are watching perform have been qualified by only IYSF national and continental championships. Now you might be wondering, how are the judges evaluating the athletes' performances? Yoga sport, founded on the millenary held values of traditional Indian yoga, turns its total attention to asana, the postures. IYSF judges score the asana based on difficulty, minimum expression, traditional recommended execution, and characteristics of athletic aspects of strength, flexibility, and balance. Postures are divided into 6 groups of skills performed by the athlete during the competition: backbending, forward compression, traction, torsion, lift, and inversion. While honoring the main principles of yoga, the athlete must hold each posture for 3 to 5 seconds and must complete the 6 posture routine within 3 minutes. In all IYSF national, continental, and international championships, scores given by IYSF official judges are displayed immediately via IYSF tabulation grids, assessing percentages of difficulty and execution, and time judges deduct points for not holding the postures long enough. We're ready to display Alexandra's scores. Let's move on to our next competitor, representing India, Madumita Mana. begin, please. Time. Thank you very much, Madumita. What a beautiful, beautiful performance. Now we've just been reminded of the time when we used to have the competitions in silence. Athletes are welcome to accompany their routines with music, and no deductions are made for music choice. And we've certainly have some interesting choices in the past. And no deductions are made if an athlete chooses not to incorporate music. Also, the posture guidelines indicate possible extra skills or less skills for a given posture. These are aspects or elements of a posture that demonstrate either greater or lesser proficiency in the execution. Extra and less skills do not change the characteristics of the posture and may carry rewards or penalties up to 2 points, from 0.5 to 2 points. Accepted flourishes are considered unnecessary endings or additional movements during the traditional execution of a posture. They do not receive any extra points, but may carry deductions if performed improperly. Any other additional movements not described in the posture guidelines are not considered flourishes and are subject to point deduction. Please Please remember that the IYSF is currently working on meeting the criteria for inclusion to become an Olympic sport, and this requires meeting several criteria, including unified 40 active federations spread on 5 continents, regular national and international competitions, and developing rules and regulations, and an IYSF-owned educational program for coaches, judges, and athletes. Most of this have been already achieved by the IYSF, so this is why it's very, very important to keep spreading the word that we need more countries to create federations, to join the IYSF and organize national competitions. And of course, we need more and more athletes of all categories to join. So the IYSF will unite and assist its official members and oversee all IYSF yoga sport competitions worldwide, fully adhering to the principles of World Anti-Doping Convention and fair play. So, to make it as an Olympic sport, the only way for yoga sports to get worldwide recognition is to develop yoga sports under the discipline of IYSF world governing body and unifying all national federations and their competitions. We're ready to display Madumita's scores. Yes. Very, very well. Congratulations, Madumita. Next is representing India, Sakshi Verma. Begin, please. Thank you, Sakshi. Congratulations. Indeed, we have a typo on screen. Sakshi's category is not girls 15-17, but adult women. Now, let's take a moment to thank our sponsors for today's event: Ka and LA Associates, View Entertainment, Maima, Limca Wing University, Gauni, and Green Loops. Again, it is important to point out, as this is an international competition, that an athlete who is national of 2 or more countries, someone who has multiple nationalities, can represent only one of those countries at the present competition. However, afterwards, they cannot represent another country of which they are nationals at any IOSF competition until 2 years have passed. Please remember, in case an athlete considers that the judges panel has failed to correctly apply a rule not relating to the judges' evaluation of technical merit of the posture, or that there is a time judge error or computer error, then an appeal can be made, and you know the proper procedure for appeals. Let's take a look at Sakshi's scores. Very, very well. Congratulations. Let's move on to our next competitor, representing Japan, Sato Meuchi. Begin, please.
Angel, take your wings and fly, watching over me. See me through my night time and be my leading light. Angel, you have found the way, never fear to dread. You'll be a friend to me. Angel, spread your wings and fly.
Congratulations! Our first full standing bow of the event. So, last time I remember we saw you online. How do you feel now? Is it different being online and being here present?
Yes, absolutely different, because last time was just thinking about me, but this time I can see all of you, and then I can feel my heart bumping, so nervous, but enjoyed. Thank you, yeah.
Nevertheless, we didn't notice. We were looking at you and it was so smooth and so like your music, like angel music. So yes, so well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we're ready to display Sato's scores. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Wonderful. Moving on to our next competitor, representing Mexico, Beatrice Aisa. Begin, please. Congratulations, Beatrice! So, you were getting emotional at the beginning. What's going on? What are you thinking about?
I don't know. I just get so excited, and every time, even when we did a demo, I was like, everything was happening. I love this. Thank you for making this. Thank you.
Oh, how do you prepare for this? How do you get ready for competition? Who do you train with?
Well, actually, I go to your classes of your sports. I love them every Sunday. I also train with Deepak online with Yoga Cool, and I also train with my coach, amazing coach, Yoga Gallery. So it was a couple of months of, it was a little bit of mind, but also body on how you move your muscles, but how you actually build the postures following the manual. So it was, I don't know, it was amazing.
Thank you, congratulations. And we're ready to display Beatrice's scores. Very consistent. Let's move on to our next competitor. Representing Mexico, Rosio Eniso. Begin, please.
Cúrate, mijita, el dolor con nuestra luz del sol y los rayos de la luna. Cúrate, mijita, el dolor con el sonido del río, la cascada y la espuma. Con el vaivén del mar que va y viene, deja que te agarre. Con el vaivén del mar que va y viene, deja que te ame. Cúrate, mi niña, con las hojas de la menta y la hierba buena. Ponle amor al té en lugar de azúcar. Toma y mira las estrellas. Cúrate, mijita, el dolor con nuestra luz del sol y los rayos de la luna. Cúrate, mijita, con los besos que te sopla el viento, los abrazos de lluvia. Con el vaivén del mar que va y viene, deja que te agarre. Con el vaivén del mar que va y viene, deja que te ame. Cúrate, mi niña, con amor del más bonito y enciende el fuego, entrega tus dolores, que se vuelvan polvo y vengan nuevas flores. Que se vuelvan polvo, que se vuelvan polvo todos los dolores. Que los queme el fuego, que los queme el fuego y vengan nuevas flores. Que se vuelvan polvo, que se vuelvan polvo todos los dolores. Que los queme el fuego, que los queme el fuego y vengan nuevas flores. Cúrate, mijita, el dolor con el calor del sol y el frío de la luna. Endulza la mañana con
Time. Congratulations, Rosio! Wonderful! So, you might be wondering, how is it possible to consider yoga as a sport? Yoga is a holistic health system with Indian roots stretching back 5,000 years, and IYSF seeks to generate awareness of yoga among all nations as it relates to culture, education, and knowledge on a sporting basis. The sport of yoga asana aims to further human excellence as it promotes health and well-being on both the individual and universal levels. And knowing that yoga is one of the 6 philosophical systems of India, yoga sports focuses on asana, one of the 8 limbs of yoga, where we can meet outside and verify our inner work. So if you look closely, yoga and sport both aim to maintain and improve our physical skills. They both transform our physical states, and both yoga and traditional sports entertain and inspire those watching and bring joy to the mind. And we're ready to display Rosio's scores. Moving on to our next competitor, representing Mexico, Adriana Ruala. Begin, please.
Don't be afraid. After the darkness is light. So don't you be afraid. When it comes the long night. Have faith, journey along. If you don't know, the path is long. But if you try, you'll surely grow to heal past the sorrow that been keeping you low. You low, so grow, 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 grow.
Congratulations, Adriana! Wonderful, wonderful performance. Now, please be reminded that the scores that are being displayed are still subject to revisions, so they might or might not be final until the actual final scores are presented. Again, as sports are governed by rules and regulations, in order to ensure fair play and just competition, yoga is also governed by ethical principles of honesty and integrity. The goal is the same. In sports, the term sportsmanship expresses that the activity will be enjoyed for its own sake without attachment to the result. And we're ready to display Adriana's scores. Excellent. Let's move on to our next competitor, which is, by the way, our next to last competitor of this evening. Representing Mongolia, Oyuntung Galang Bata. Oh. Hold on a second. We don't have Oyuntung Balang Bata? We have Asbilek Engpor? That's Asbilek? No, you're Oyuntung Balang. Oh, so we have a typo on the screen. There it is. There we are. Begin, please.
Namaste astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Trimbakaya Tripurantakaya Trikala Vikalaya Kalagnirudraya Nilakantaya Mrityunjaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya
Congratulations, Oyun Tunggalag. Wait for me. I'm coming for you, of course. I know, but no. We've seen a very strong performance on your behalf. How do you prepare for this competition?
I tried my best to prepare for the competition. So I worked on the strength as well as the flexibility side.
Yes, and also because what I saw is the moment the competition was finished, you became yourself again. You were smiling, and on stage when it was happening, we saw this warrior energy. So where does that come from?
I'm from Mongolia. we are warriors. But also, like when you do balancing poses, it requires a lot of attention. You have to like go inward and pay all the attention, on yourself. So maybe the warrior comes from that as well.
Of course, it was amazing. Thank you. Congratulations. All right, so we're moving on to our last competitor of this evening. Representing Mongolia, Aspilek Engpor. Begin, please. Congratulations, Aspilek! Thank you so very much for your performance. So So please remember that the main goal of the IYSF is to make Yogasana an Olympic sport. And the only way for yoga sports to get worldwide recognition is to develop yoga sports under the yoga sport discipline under the IYSF as a world governing body and unifying all national federations and competitions. So we need to display Oyuntungalak Bata scores, the previous competitor. There we go. And also for all the participants of the adults women category, please be reminded that the certificates of participation will be handed out right after we finish with this evaluation. So be ready to get on stage. Also, please, whomever are our top 10 competitors of the adults men and adults women divisions, please, right after the competition is over, approach the judges table to Lynn and Christian to register for tomorrow's finals. We're ready to display Asbilek's scores. Meaning that we're also ready to display the ranking for the adults women category. There we go, the ranking of today's competitors. Please be reminded that our top 10 competitors are finalists for tomorrow's competition. Please, all the top 10 competitors of the male and female divisions need to approach the judges table after the competition is over to register for tomorrow's finals. We will now present all the athletes from the adults women division their certificates of participation, for which we invite onto the stage Dr. Karki, who is president of the Nepal Federation and founder of the South Asian Yoga Federation. So please, all the athletes, female division, come to the stage. Again, please, all of the female adult division, come to the stage. We need to give you your certificates of participation. Here they are, the women of the adult women division for today's competition. And we have Dr. Karki to hand out the certification. So, Januka Batrai Dungana. Pishika Dakral. Mina Kumari Raut. Durga Panta. Anju Shrestha. Sarah Manson Kals. Hannah Persson. Nava Nur Tushener. Ina Vasina. Kunyu. Kendall Geist. Oh, Kendall's not here. Marsha Hendrick. Tara Johnson. Jasmine Pinson. Oh, Jasmine not here. Jordan Lydia Verla. Pauli Valerio. Lucy Musa. No Lucy? No. Nirvani Umadat. Camila Valdez. Indrisa Termachova. Susana Traalikova. Senior Ree Hansen. Alexandra Vinner Bakis. Madumita Mana. Sakshi Verma. Sato Meuchi. Beatrice Aisa. Rosio Eniso. Adriana Ruala. Oyuntunggalak Bata. Asbeleg Enkpor. Jasmine Pinson. All right, so that is it for today's event. Thank you, Dr. Karki. Thank you very much for all the participants. And we will see you tomorrow. Good night. Also, please be reminded that from now until the next 15 minutes, we have time for appeals in case anyone has an appeal. Oh, 7 minutes for appeals. And please be reminded, the top 10 competitors of both categories need to come to the judges' table to register for tomorrow's finals. Thank you. Please be reminded, both male and female competitors.
The athletes should be here probably 7:30, no later than 8, and we want all the judges here no later than 8. So whoever communicates with the bus will communicate that.
Also, please be reminded that tomorrow's competition will begin at 8:30 a.m.